What I'm talking about is the conversation that has been going on the last 20 years, the last, even longer, the last 20 years or even 30. I mean, it has been that if you don't go to college, you're a loser. Think about that. When I graduated high school in 2005, if someone told you that, yeah, I'm going to be a mechanic. I'm going to a trade school for it's like a year, and then I'm going to get a job as a mechanic. We collectively, as a society, looked at them as if they were a complete and utter loser. You're a dirtbag. You're probably a druggie. You can't do like it. Seriously, that's what it was. And now, thankfully, the conversation is shifting. Students have to make a big decision at the end of their high school career. What to do next? Do they go the college route? Do they go the career route? Do they start a business? Do they take a year or two or however many off and go backpacking through Europe? I don't know. There's a million and one different decisions that they can make and what to do. But I think the decision to be made of college is a very important one. And I want to start today with a story and some current events as well. So I myself am 30, almost 37 now. And do you know that I still have a little bit of student loan left? And it's not because I took hundreds of thousands of dollars of loans out. It's just that I'd never really had the chance to pay them down as much as I'd like to, or the intensity to do so. But with that being said, I just have a few $1,000s left. I mean, I can probably in a few months, if I really wanted to play them all off. It's not the idea. The idea is I'm looking at this and I'm looking at Biden's SAVE program. So this is the second attempt from the Biden administration to help student loans, the student loan crisis through student loan forgiveness as well as student loan aid in the form of lowering payments. So I'm not here today to go into all the details because I barely know all the details myself, but ultimately they recognize the huge issue that is student loans. And I completely agree with it. I get it. The reason why I agree with it is not because I don't think students or people should be irresponsible and take money that they don't need to pay back. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the conversation that has been going on the last 20 years, the last even longer, the last 20 years or even 30. I mean, it has been that if you don't go to college, you're a loser. Think about that. When I graduated high school in 2005, if someone told you that, yeah, I'm going to be a mechanic. I'm going to a trade school for it's like a year, and then I'm going to get a job as a mechanic. We collectively, as a society, looked at them as if they were a complete and utter loser. You're a dirtbag. You're probably a druggie. You can't do like it. Seriously, that's what it was. And now, thankfully, the conversation is shifting. We recognize that trades are extremely, not only important, but extremely beneficial to your financial security in your life. You probably do way better than most people. Either way, it's also a very, just as difficult of a career path as any other career path is. But where I'm going with this is the conversation of if you do go to college, you can't rely on Biden's SAVE plan or the next president's plan or whatever it is, or any government to hopefully maybe bail you out. You have to have the conversation of what is happening with money and ultimately the decision, right? We always come back to the decision-making process on this show because this is what I teach students. I teach the process, the art and the science of decision-making. And when we really look at such a huge decision as to how much money we're going to take out, how much money we're going to have to pay back, how much money we're ultimately going to spend on our education, and if that's worth it. So I think one thing to note here, if you are in the school system and you're listening to this right now, if you are in the administration side of things, I don't know your job. I don't know how your job is evaluated. I don't know if it's on numbers of college acceptance rates or graduation rates. I don't know. So I'm not making any assumptions here. And I know obviously that's not a teacher's evaluation process, but I think we really, if we're not, I think we really need to be cognizant of that process and what we're actually telling our students to do. Because now we also live in a world where there is so many more options. A teenager can come up to you and say, I want to start my own business. There's a very good chance that they should not be going to business school or will be going to, getting a degree in marketing or, God forbid, communications, because these degrees are not going to help them start a business. That I know for sure. They are going to make someone else rich. I don't have to tell you, students today are way too stressed, overwhelmed, and anxious about their lives and their futures. This is why I do what I do. As a youth speaker, I teach students to step back from the situation, see the choices they have in front of them, make great decisions, and build positive patterns around this process. Whether it's substance abuse, bullying, or stress about their digital lives, the students I've worked with have had some great success. So I want to work with your students. I want to come down to your school and your event and actually teach your students the art and the science of making great decisions. So click the link below and schedule your call with me so I can learn a little bit more about what you're looking for in your next speaker. If these kids are coming to you and they say, I want to run my own business, I want to be an entrepreneur, however they language it, then starting their own business is probably the best route. There are probably other formal things that they should do, and I highly suggest that they do, but it probably doesn't look like a 4-year undergraduate degree. Okay, so I think we just really have to be cognizant. And then when we're talking about our students about the money that's involved in this, again, I think we have to, if their parents have not taught them financial literacy by the time that they are 17, like my parents did, no fault of their own. It's not their problem. It's just what happened, right? My parents didn't, and they tried to probably, but not necessarily super seriously, teach me the value of $1 and how to manage my own personal finances. Because then when you say, what does a $50,000 loan mean to a student that does not have any financial literacy or personal finance experience, that number doesn't even equate. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, well, if I get a salary for $65,000, then it's fine. Clearly, they don't get it. But if they do, they're going to start breaking down the math behind what does $50,000 look like. What does the interest rate look like? How does that affect my monthly payments? And then all of a sudden you say, oh, whoa, okay, I have to make a $900 payment every month? Whoa, okay. Yeah, but if I'm making a job, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden you can help them, once they have a monthly number, then you can help them say, okay, well, let's say you get a job, what's the average salary in your job? Okay, $65,000, fine. Let's say $60,000, just round it, okay? You have a $60,000 job, you, after taxes and everything, you take home, say, I don't know, $3,500 a month, okay? And then you've got this number, okay? So now, on top of that, we have to make a $900 payment. So now you've just literally taken close to a third of your money from that month. Now you're left with all this for rent, food, so I think that can help them. Now, you're not going to have this whole time to go through this process with them. And that's, again, hopefully what parents are doing. We know that it's not going to be 100%, but that is the process to break down the decision of how much money you're going to take out for the college you're going to go to, for the degree you're going to major in. These are all factors in making one of the largest and insane decisions of a 17-year-old's life. It's nuts because it's broken. How do we expect a 17-year-old to pick a major that they are going to make a career path in for the rest of their life? They have another 10 years or so until their brains are fully formed, let alone what they actually want to do in this world and what kind of legacy they want to leave. It's insane. So I think this is just the process of breaking down what the decision we have to make behind going to college. Again, for me, I've been paying off loans forever, and that has been a tremendous, to be honest with you, a tremendous burden on my life. I mean, if I didn't have to make, just keeping up with with minimum payments, let alone on top of that. And a lot of this too is, money that I spent on my master's work in Belgium, which is not necessarily a formal student loan, but it's debt. So I think this is, again, a conversation that I like to just have with you in the midst of this SAVE plan, in the midst of Republicans trying to slash it and do whatever they're trying to do. So I think, again, the process of making this decision of what to do after high school needs to boil down to conversations with your student and breaking down the math behind what money they're going to take, what money they have saved up, and what money they're going to need to pay back. So that looks like, what does your monthly payment need to be these loans? And then what does life look like? And you can use your own, if you feel comfortable, use your own money. Like, use your own salary and expenses. Or just make them up and fib them, But I think they need to learn that. And I think if you're, say, I know guidance counselors have zero time to do this, but if you're in that position and students bring this up, I think these are conversations to have, and trying to make them realize the weight of their decisions. So I think that is kind of the little bit of a rambling conversation I wanted to have with you today. Like I said, in the time of the SAVE program that I'm applying to, right? I have some loans left, so why not? And with everything going on, and I think the way college is being treated now, and one more thing too to think about is that more and more companies are not necessarily requiring college degrees. If you come in, for instance, you look at a company like VaynerMedia, I can tell you, if you sit down and interview with Gary Vaynerchuk, he is not going to care about what grades you got in high school. What college you went to. If you can come in and say, hey, I've been doing media buying for blah, 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 blah. I've been running my own t-shirt shop on Shopify. I've been doing this. You're in. You've got a much better chance than someone who says, I went to Brown or I went to Harvard. Like, they don't care. So I think there's a lot to think about. I think breaking down every decision that a student has to make that is big needs to be broken down. And breaking that down into financial understanding is the key. So with that interesting conversation today, I want to hear what you have to say. Let me know what your conversations have been with your students around college, around tuition, around loans, and I want to hear that in the comments below. If you liked today's video, then let me know by hitting like, hitting subscribe, and hitting the bell notification to be notified every time I release a new video. And if you like this one today, then you might also like this one right over here.